So it's going to fall to the man from Chatham, New Jersey, 21-year-old John Tolkien. The chance to take the Red Bulls into the postseason.
Test. Can you hear me? Test.
Right here? Okay. Just like this? Well, my name is Andrew Gordon, and I am a co-founder of Jersey Left Productions. I have been a Red Bulls fan for a handful of years, but this is really the first year that I watched every single game and was paying attention to what was even going on in the league and really understood what was at stake about this season.
My name is Juan Perez. I'm a co-owner of Jersey Left Productions. And I've been a fan of the Red Bulls for several years now. And so when Thierry Henry came to the Red Bulls, it really captured my interest, and I started attending some games.
Red Bulls lead Columbus. Henry this time has the option. Conde is there if he opts to play it short. Henry instead. Off woodwork and in! Henry from the impossible angle has put it home. His second goal of the night. And oh my, one for the highlight reel.
This is not an accident.
Going into this season, I hadn't really done much research. I knew that we were good the year prior, relatively good. Finished top 6, top 5.
When it came to the beginning of the season, I needed to be reminded that MLS started by my friend Juan, and I didn't even know game 1 of the season had happened, so I was feeling pretty good.
Takes the measure and finishes down the middle.
You know, I had no idea anything was going on, and I found out later that we started the season with a loss on a pretty bogus play called on
Our captain, who gave up a penalty kick at a crucial moment.
Nealis, it looks like it hits the inside off of his ribs before it goes to his arm, but the arm does create a barrier.
In hindsight, that was awful, but at the time I was feeling okay. Just excited to realize that the season had started, and I was like, oh, I get to go to games again. This should be fun. Going to that first game against Nashville, I finally gave in. Juan had been kind of teasing with the idea of getting season tickets, and I couldn't get rid of the thought, and we finally pulled the trigger just before that game. Like, we were deciding, like, we were just going to walk up and see what tickets we could get, and ended up just calling in and getting season tickets. So
you got them.
Perfect. For season tickets.
All right, perfect. You are all set. And then, like I said, what we can do is next week we can.
that set a really high energy for the day. We were really ecstatic just because of that. So a tie wasn't so bad. 0-0.
A 0-0 result. Not anything really to get excited about. 2 games, no scores.
And a lot of room out on the right for the cross, looking for Barlow. Here's Tolkien. Side. Manuel has skipped past his man and into the box, and he puts Frankie Amaya. Dinks it in and a little bit on his own at the moment, and that's the last action. Point shared as Sean Davis and Alex Wheel among the Nashville contingent who return to Red Bull Arena.
Going into Game 3 in Minnesota starts off with weather conditions that you only get at the beginning of a season in soccer.
As a white veil of snow covers Allianz Field, and a chance early perhaps for the New York Red Bulls, and a shot!
It was kind of nagging on me that the team hadn't scored a goal in 2 games. I'm like, 2 games? Maybe we'll survive this. And I was traveling for work and watching the Minnesota game from my hotel room, and
Corner kick it in, Swinger. The header's a good one, what a save! But it's there! Minnesota United take the lead!
The thing about ties in soccer is when you score first and you end the game with a tie, it's usually very demoralizing. It feels like a loss. But when the opposite happens, it can be encouraging, it can be exciting, and that's exactly what happened this game.
Great delivery off.
Yes!
Red Bulls are level.
We scored our first goal of the season, so that was exciting.
The team finally, after 3 games, scored their first goal, and they go into the second home game of the season, and
we scored 2 goals. So we went from 0-0 to 1 to now 2. It's progress. I like progress. That feels good. And it was from players that you want to be scoring goals.
Options. Burke, top of the 18, trying to pump that pass through. The rebound is in. Perfectly placed. Tolkien able to play this across. Shot by Vanzier. Took it out of midair, and the Red Bulls have the lead.
A little up and down, but nonetheless exciting because of the victory. So I really enjoyed that. I think it was that Vanzier's first goal with the team even?
His first MLS goal. It is a huge one for the home side.
So the game against San Jose, I was frustrated for most of it just because since Columbus and the win and that game, almost no action really happened. The team really wasn't making anything happen. They weren't winning. They were barely staying in it just because they would pull off some ties. And then, I don't know if it was out of frustration or something, but there was a moment where play gets stopped in the second half, and we have no idea what's going on in the stands. They're not making any announcements, and it's like 20-something minutes go by.
Communication! Come on, tell us something. That's why they got mics in the NFL for the refs.
the most memorable part of the match was when the match stopped because of something Vanzier did. His first start ended up being his last start for quite a while. Play stopped for about 20 minutes while we were sitting there in the stands, bewildered. Rumblings started emerging as people looked on their phones to see what was happening, about what was going on the field.
And then finally we find out through social media that that apparently there was some kind of altercation, or Vanzier was heard saying something racist in, around, or towards another player. I don't remember all the details. And it created this situation where they're trying to figure out what to do. And I feel like in any case, probably could have been handled better.
He didn't get ejected from that game, which became a big controversy later. The coach didn't pull him from the game, which also became a controversy later.
And it ended in a tie, which I guess is better than it being a loss, because that would really be furious. But man, another tie. So this guy's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's not performing, and then he's acting like this. And the team just can't get past scoring 1 goal a game at best. So I'm not feeling good. I don't remember exactly how many weeks into the season, but it was a decent chunk into the season. There was finally that coach change. At least it was announced that Gerhard Struber was leaving the team. And I think that was the right move. You could feel it as the season got a little bit older, that the team wasn't clicking. They were going through the motions. They were playing with energy because that's what being in position required, but they weren't necessarily playing with passion. I feel that that's kind of a thing in soccer. You just could tell that they weren't in it. They were just doing their job at best. And I don't think that Struber was really bringing the best out of them. I don't know that his approach to things was key to success. And if anything, a change would just disrupt and hopefully shake off, stop, or bring to light whatever was making them place with such mediocrity. So it was kind of exciting. You felt it coming as we got closer to that point. You knew it was coming within that week because of I believe there's a loss that just a crushing loss against Philly or something like that.
Penalty! Gazda for the lead, 1-0 Union on the road. For the first time this season, Philadelphia has a first half goal away from home.
It was definitely necessary. I remember throughout the season speaking with Andrew, and we would point out the fact that the team was actually not bad. One of the better defenses in the league, and some really creative passing plays up front, and just couldn't finish. They just needed something, a little spark from somewhere. And while unfortunately I'm sad to see Gerhard go, it gave us the spark we needed.
The mantra of all in. All in is so important towards what Red Bull is all about, right? This is a phrase that he tried to put in place so that the players truly understood what it meant to play for the club. I just tried to take that word and say, what does all in mean? It means three things to us now. How we invest, what is our intention, which you're gonna get to see a lot of that from the players today, how they invest in training, what is the intention in training, and then ultimately the last pillar is, how does that inspire results?
Seeing who came in, I have no idea who these guys are. I don't know their track records. I don't know their history. I don't know how to assess a coach in, football at large, let alone American soccer, MLS. But it's a new person. Let's see what he's got. Let's see what happens.
Barlow using that wing, serves in the finish. It's Fernandez.
This is from distance. Oh, it's a wonderful goal. It's Omir Fernandez. Tolkien. Oh. Headed by Camacho. The ball is loose. And Reyes rifles it in.
And this is what Troy Lassaine's been talking about. We want to possess the ball more. We want to take a step forward in the final third. That's taking a step forward.
It was exciting because his first game was a U.S. Open Cup game, and they won.
And we won. And when you've had the season that you've had so far, even if it's an Open Cup, not that I'm diminishing the value of the Open Cup, but it isn't a regular season win. Even with it being the Open Cup, it drives you. It opens up something inside of you that says, you know what? We have a chance to do something this season. Supporter Shield was out, but there was our streak.
It's always fun to go to Montclair State because you really are right up front with everybody at the edge of the field. Like, you're right there, and you're really seeing the action. You can kind of, you feel like you're a little bit in the middle of the action sometimes when they start playing into the corner. And then where we always end up sitting happens to be like the makeshift supporter section. So all the people that are normally in the supporter section in the stadium are all sitting with us and hooting and hollering and making noise.
Barlow. Good hustle. Yo. Good game. Good game. Yes, sir. Thank you. Good stuff, ass.
And he took that momentum into the regular season. His first regular season match was against NYCFC.
And they beat NYCFC at home, and that's like, okay, yeah, like this is, okay, we like this. The thing that was concerning is, since the off season, like Juan had been giving me insight that Lionel Messi was being sought by the Miami team, and we were potentially going to see Lionel Messi in MLS soccer.
When we heard the news that Messi was coming to the league, and that he would be playing in the League's Cup. It was assumed that they would do well. And they did. It was looking like nobody was going to be able to stop them. And that sucked because right after the League's Cup, we had to face him at home.
It was both exciting because this is kind of a historic moment, one of the largest names in the sport, and he was going to be in our league, in our stadium at some point, and we were going to get to see him play perhaps. So that was exciting. That was cool. A lot of people know this player, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen. But I guess that's part of the adventure. That's part of the excitement of this. So we got to see him play, and I don't know. It was a bit of a rough day. let's just say that.
So what's happening is our forwards are not making a break because the midfielders can't get the ball out to where they want to be. But the attackers need to also make an obvious move like that.
Ah!
It just took away an aspect of hope in a sense, but it didn't make me think differently about how we could proceed. It just, all we had to do was win a certain amount of games, and we could still lose to some teams that we were likely to lose to. So it wasn't out of the realm of possibilities that we could pull off the right amount of wins and just make it into the playoffs. That's all I was hoping for, honestly, at that point.
Decision day determines the destiny of their regular season. 90 minutes of soccer time in Tennessee.
It was truly if you score, you take the lead, you have a win, you're in the playoffs.
And they wait until the last possible second in the game.
Drops to Luquinhas. Can he produce something special to keep the Red Bulls player front alive? Godoy in with a challenge. They've got a penalty. They've got a penalty in the 92nd minute. Godoy penalised. Luquinhas down, and the New York Red Bulls from the spot have got a chance to save their season and keep their playoff run alive.
Well, Lukey made himself useful the way he seems to know best.
They gave it to him.
So it's going to fall to the man from Chatham, New Jersey. 21-year-old John Tolkien. The chance to take the Red Bulls into the postseason. And he's done it for New York. It could well be.
I can't even get the words out. I was so excited. I'm still excited now. It was the most amazing thing I've ever experienced.
And Tolkien, you need big personality to take on the pressure, and it doesn't come any bigger than this man.
Let's be frank, we snuck into the playoffs. There's a good chance we go home our first game.
We made it into the playoffs, and that felt great. Mission accomplished is basically where my head was at. And everything else is kind of just gravy. Let's just have some fun now. If we lose, it'll be darn, we lost, but I didn't know that we were going to get this far. So at least we maintained something.
I had very little hope. I had a lot of faith built out of nothing, built out of the fact that we finished the season strong, built out of the fact that we were able to make it into the playoffs, but nothing else. So I didn't expect a whole lot, but I wanted a lot.
It felt wonderful to just rain goals down on Charlotte.
Being at the stadium when Tolkien scored that goal was electrifying. There wasn't a single person sitting down at that moment.
on a field of internationals from all four corners of the world. It's the boy from Chatham, New Jersey.
Just to see some play, like Elias Manuel had, I think he had a playoff hat trick.
Here's Tolkien. As Red Bull push forward again. It's opened up here for Elias Manuel.
4% for Red Bull, but that won't mind much when you think of.
They have another opening here to Red Bull New York. It's Manuel. Cleverly done by Luquinhas as Red Bull New York look for number 4.
Right foot.
Tolkien, Bello! Charlotte cut to ribbons again! And Red Bull New York leads Charlotte FC red-faced and Red Bull.
It didn't feel like we celebrated for very long, unfortunately. Like, it felt great, and then a couple days later, we had to play Cincinnati, and shut out, just shut down, really. And the whole time we thought we were going to win because, like, we happened to be the team that could beat them when they're home, and they beat us when we're home. So maybe we had a thing, and so like suddenly we'd win the first game, and that would be wonderful. No.
Here's Junior Moreno, back for Barrial. Alvaro Barrial goes for goal! And the header back may fall short. There goes Badji. Out comes Coronel. Falls to Lucho Acosta! Goal! Yuya Kubo just pushed off the ball there from Reyes. But Lucho Acosta has it. Alvaro Barrial can wrap it up!
But we had a home game, one home game in that round, and we weren't going to waste it. We cheered, we were rooting for everything to go right, and
Center back Reyes saved! Celentano saves! And the Supporter Shield champion Cincinnati advance to the MLS Cup Playoffs Conference Semifinals.
We're here at Red Bull Arena in Harrison, New Jersey to conclude our summary of the 2023 season. I would say that I was satisfied, and not a bad season overall. A lot of exciting twists and turns.
Definitely a season with a lot of ups and downs, but I think halfway through the season our strategy, or at least our main goal, became to keep the streak alive, and I think we did that when we made it to the playoffs for the 14th consecutive year in a row.
So this offseason they made a lot of great moves that we're all excited to see how they play out, and I think that they're going to go for the 15th year in a row.
I thought it was exciting that they managed to get any kind of a money from Barlow. Getting rid of Luquinhas, in my opinion, was the right move.
Absolutely.
And some of the players that they've brought in, I'm very excited to see how they work out.
All right, well, the game is later today by the time you're watching this, or it's already past a few days. So with that note, we'll see you next week.
I'll see you next week.
All right.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.